Thank you for tuning into this episode of Insequeer. Once again, I'm your Insequeer AF Host, Chloe Beck. And I also wanted to let you all know that the reason why I started this episode with the Breonna Taylor murderers is because I said I would do so in my last podcast. And I wanted to hold true to that promise. Also because I will never not say her name and never not say that she deserves justice. And I will never be afraid to call out the people who killed her. So that's what that was about. And also, I'm pretty sure you're probably like, what the fuck, Chloe? You were listening to Kanye West. Isn't he canceled? Well, bitch, I'm canceled. So welcome, cancel culture. But no, honestly, something has been happening inside of me lately. And out of nowhere, like over like maybe 2 days ago, that song just started blaring in my head. It was like so loud. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I haven't listened to College Dropout since he released it. Like I was a Kanye fan between College Dropout and 808 and Heartbreaks, and then I disappeared, and then he disappeared, and now we're both sunken. And now you're listening to me ramble about Kanye. So I just want to preface this by saying Kanye circa 2020, I don't know that man. I feel sorry for that man. I hope them Kardashians free that man. And rest in peace to his mom, because she was the last straw in his mental health. And ever since she's been gone, it's just been a terrible tragedy to watch over and over again. But I cannot not acknowledge the poignancy of that song that I played in the beginning. It's called We Don't Care, and it was on that album. And when I walk around Manhattan, it just blares at me. So this episode is going to be a little bit about my insecurities in where I am in my professional life, where I am on my journey to finding my next venture, my calling, or honoring my calling that I've known for a long time, but because I allowed other people to talk me out of it, and now having to deal with full circle trying to find a way as a 33-year-old black woman with bills in life, trying to honor that. Like, while Kanye said drug dealing just to get by, like, for me, I've done school and college and done things the right way just to get by, and now I don't want to get by. I want to live. I want to thrive. So that's what this episode's going to be about. Once again, I told you guys this. I get extremely anxious and nervous right before I push record, and every time it just gets better. So you could probably hear the urgency and the anxiety in my voice, but it's because I have so many thoughts. And because we've already discovered that I don't do outlines, I hope I don't miss them. But if I do, I'll just bring them back to the next episode. So come with me on this journey, if you will. Picture it. New York City. 2 days ago, my partner and I, we do what we always do, and we got up to walk our boys, but it's not like a business walk. So when we say we're going to walk the boys, we know that means grab their stroller. Yes, we're two black bitches with two white dogs and a beautiful red stroller because assimilation. Actually, we're innovators because we're the only ones who do it, and people are so perplexed. Like, is there something wrong with them? Is there something wrong with you? Are you the help? Yes, I am my dog's help, but I also own them. But that's another topic for another day. But so we were taking our typical walk, and that walk usually involves us going to go get an iced chai and an iced espresso. And then we take we take a smoke walk, and then we talk and we do all the things and we communicate. And ironically enough, on this walk, I was talking to her about the anxiety I have about producing episodes. And I say producing episodes in the sense that, like, we have a spreadsheet, a running document of podcast topics that I would like to cover. But something within me does not allow me to push record until I truly feel it. Like, I can read the list down to you, but like, if there's not something that has like struck a chord on said topic, it's just a piece of paper. So, which I'm going to do another episode about that, I think, about just how you push through when there's no passion attached. But I just wanted to use it as the basis for this. So we talked about that. And on our walk, beautiful walk, hot August day walk, the tea's delicious, the espresso's hidden, conversations flowing. And we say we are in this bubble. Like, when we take our walks, we end up in this loop. Like, we could take the same walk 15 times, and literally without even doing it on purpose, we'll end up down the same streets. Like every time we think we're doing something new in Manhattan, like, ooh, let's take a left. And then we end up on the same street that we've been on 5 times. But this time, we were on the hunt for a bagel, which is something that I wanted, which is not my norm, like weight loss surgery. I try not to purposely eat bread or seek it out. Like if it falls in my mouth, I can't help but to chew it. But I really, really wanted a bagel. So we did the Yelp thing and tried to find something nearby the grocery store that we had went to. And we ended up deciding to go to Tompkins Street Bagel, which is literally like a block away from where we live. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Grab the bagel, go make breakfast. Then I had a meeting for work. Like we had it all planned out. So we get to the bagel place, and of course we sat and we looked at the menu. We wanted 2 bagels. We want this, and I was gonna get jazzy and add the cinnamon raisin one, because we are bougie bitches, and we were gonna do pumpernickel and onion, because what the fuck is a breath mint? So we go to this bagel place, which is a white person's dream. White people were there. It was like white lives matter in this place, and that's no shade to them, probably because black people bagel? I don't know. That we'll talk about that later. But I was gonna go in and do my order, and the same anxiety I get when I push record, I have anxiety when I have to order something new. Like if it's not my norm, like I will do the math. I was like, okay, you tell them you want this, you want it toasted, you want this on the side, but you're also gonna. I was doing the mental work. Like you would have thought I was in class. Like I was preparing this order. So it's my turn. I get up there, nice guy. Hey, how you doing? Can I have a pumpernickel bagel, cream cheese on the side, toasted? He said, oh, we don't have pumpernickel. I was like, oh, good thing we wanted 2 savory bagels. We'll nix the pumpernickel. We'll slide over to the onion. Oh, can I get onion? Oh, bitch, we don't have onion. Okay, bitch, you don't have my service. I'm already way out of my comfort zone by even talking to you, ordering bagels, appearing to be assimilating into the white life that society wants me to have. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll come back. And that's code for I ghosted the bagel shop. So this is what took us out of our normal trajectory of getting home. So we ended up walking down a street that we're not unfamiliar with, but it's not a street that we don't take in this typical walk. And my partner and I are talking. We're talking. And right as we're about to get to the corner to go to the actual grocery store to get a store-bought bagel, which is not the same thing, but I had this bagel craving, I look up the street, like maybe 10 steps ahead of me, and I see someone who this is all assumption based, someone who was recently released from the hospital because all he had on was the nightgown and the hospital socks. I watched a grown man, white man, who looked probably able-bodied but might have had a mental delay, or I don't know his struggle, but like not all the way coherent, but very focused on his task at hand. I watched that man diaper himself. And in a split second, I was like, ooh, this will be entertaining for social media. But immediately, thank God, my heart kicked in. And I watched a grown man put his diaper on. And all he had on his person was his hospital nightgown, his hospital issued socks, and a paper bag, which looked like it was empty. It looked like he was on his last diaper. I watched this man diaper himself standing on one of the corners of one of the busiest streets in Manhattan. And I watched so many other people just walk past, just cross the street. The only thing I know how to do in that moment is give money. So I went in my wallet and I grabbed the $2 and change I had in singles. And I watched and I waited for him to finish diapering himself. And as I approached him closer, I saw a white woman sitting on the ground watching him as well, but like from a place of the same kind of disheartening, but hers looked a little bit more like disgust. And as I did my exchange and I gave him the money and I just said, God bless you. And the lady was like, oh, that was so sweet of you. And I just could not unsee her white Karen womanness watch. He's a white man, so I can't even claim race. But I saw his class and her class and my class all clash on that street corner. And as I tell this story right now, like I'm emotional and I'm tearing up because At the core of this episode, my insecurity lies very much in how much of my dream I can chase versus the security I have to chase it. And my girlfriend and I had a poignant conversation about that. And I talked about how my philanthropic work there, I just want to create a middle step between the hospital who releases you to nothing. No, like hospitals can't even give you a pair of sweatpants. They can't give you a t-shirt. They don't offer you lost and found clothing. They literally let you leave the hospital in diapers and a nightgown, and you're forced to fend for yourself. And the reason why this pisses me off is because it's not the first time I've seen it in New York City. In every little corner, nook, you will see a beautiful brunch happening. You will see this Maserati drive down the street. But if you look to your left, you will see people dying, fecal matter on their person, with a hospital band, a hospital bag, which means the hospital did all that the hospital can mandate to do, and they release these people. Myriad of reasons. Some people go to the hospital just to have a place to stay. Some people obviously don't have a support system that can receive them on the other end of leaving that hospital. But I walk through the city and I'm just like, is that healthcare? And what do you do once the healthcare professional, because I will never knock them because I can understand budget, finances, all the things that they endure within being in such a helping profession where you're literally outnumbered. So I will never knock them. But my disdain for the reality is that, like, once they clear you, there is no one to pick you up. Like, you are forced to just be free. And luckily for this man, it's August. It's hot. There's no crazy weather. There's nothing, hindering just his safety in terms of the element. But also, unfortunately for this man, we're in the fucking middle of a pandemic. They did not outfit him with a mask. How can he actively engage with people and ask for help when we're scared because of COVID? Although we're not scared because you can share hookah or enjoy a mimosa. But if a homeless person approached you, God forbid, because they most definitely could have COVID, but not your neighbor. But the selfishness part of this rant, right? Let's get back to it. The selfish part of this rant for me is my fear that I am just one instance, one mistake, one circumstance, one furlough, one layoff, one fire away from being that same homeless person. How irrational is that? How irrational is that fear? I, Chloe Beck, who you've heard about my mom in episodes, whatever. We don't do numbers anymore because that's canceled. I can't keep track past 5. While I grew up in the inner city projects, Chloe, no middle name, Beck, never went to sleep hungry. Never did not have shoes to fit me. Never did not have a winter coat. I was always provided for, and I never felt poor until I was old enough to go to other people's homes. And that's another story, because while I would even say I had above the bare minimum, I did not know how much further above that minimum you could get. So I have never been homeless. I do not know that struggle. I am so blessed to have a mother and a grandmother and a family at the time who made sure that I had everything I needed, Maslow's hierarchy, and some of the shit I wanted, spoiled child hierarchy. So then you couple that reality. Like, I've never been in that disarray of not having a hot bath. I can't say it enough. I'm blessed. I'm better than blessed. Never had that. Then you add the reality that I have 2 degrees. I'm like Chris's mom on Everybody Hates Chris. I don't need this. My husband got 2 jobs. I got 2 degrees. Ironically enough, we're talking about Kanye and the college dropout. I was en route for a 3rd degree, but I dropped out of that program, which, bitch, if that doesn't show up on this episode, like with more thought, it will definitely show up again, because I'm a college dropout. But even that I get to do from a luxurious place of already having 2 fucking degrees. So while I was late to learning about credit, while I was late to learning about savings, while all the black realities that Kanye spits about, like shit on layaway, niggas in the coop, people highest up, lowest self-esteem, prettiest people, ugliest things, like while he's spitting fucking truth about how we maneuver spaces and our insecurities, I am intelligent. I am hireable. I am smart. I have every transferable skill you will need to have in life except math and or Excel spreadsheets. But bitch, if I sit on YouTube long enough, sign me up, bitch. How you want it? What's the algorithm? What's the formula? See, I don't even know what you're saying. Spreadsheets make me anxious. I would do a whole episode on that. Why is it that someone who has so many things, literal, metaphorical, hireable things, why do I have such a fear and anxiety that I could be homeless? You want to know why? Why does Chloe Beck, who is so intelligent, so smart, so funny, not so proud that she will not work at a movie theater or a Taco Bell, bitch, with this amazing salaried job that I have, with all the health benefits that I have, with all the free rent, AC, cable, internet that I get, I will still sign up for a second job because here in New York City, you can never have enough money. And that is why I'm so insecure about following my dreams, because here I am with all the things, finally living the life that I dream about on TV. Finally living the life that I've seen on TV, the life that I still dream and fawn over. I'm waking up and realizing I'm already living the life that I'm trying to chase. So that's another lesson in being grateful, right? Like, you are sitting here trying to chase a brownstone. You are sitting here trying to chase a Tesla. You are sitting here trying to chase things that you already have, but they don't feel like they belong to me. And that's, bitch, table that. But I say all of that to say, New York City can take the most affluent person, most educated person, most well-to-do person, and in one blink of one eye, make that person homeless. So if I'm already feeling like I'm on borrowed property because I happen to work where I live and my job is directly aligned to my address, I don't know if I'll ever not have that anxiety as long as I live where I work. You know, like if you get fired from your job, you got a good 30 days before your landlord or your mortgage or somebody knows, because you don't typically work for the company that took your job and they didn't outfit your house if under normal circumstances. Does that make sense? So you got a month to figure it out. So within a month, you could probably find another job, tap some savings, do the thing to kind of keep you in the comfort for as long as you've allowed yourself to save for. But for me, if I'm fired from this job, I need to be out of my apartment within 2 weeks because it's directly attached to the job. And if you don't have job security or job satisfaction, or if you don't feel like you're an asset to a job that can take it all from you like that, how will you ever feel like you're resting comfortably at home? Right? So for me in real time, while I have the degrees, I have this, I have that, me divorcing this job, and I'm not even going to say getting fired, because the truth is I'm ready to go. I don't want to do this anymore. It is not my passion. Like LeBron James, it's time for me to take my talents elsewhere. But my insecurity, my job insecurity, my financial insecurity, my address insecurity, because I'm a bougie bagel chai drinking Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday walking ass bitch, insecurity, I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm stressed the fuck out because I truly believe that when I leave here, I will be homeless in that sense, because, well, I won't be homeless. It's all irrational. But the fear sometimes just, fear and irrational thought processes go on dates in my brain. They're like, okay, so she's scared about this, right? So let's just sprinkle in, yeah, you got to move out. And let's sprinkle in, you have over $6,000 worth of plants, and you're probably gonna have to figure that out. Let's sprinkle in, you now have a partner and 2 dogs, and like what kind of apartment is gonna accept all of that. Let's also sprinkle in, you have so much shit, and when you look at a standard New York City 1-bedroom, only a quarter of your things, your prized possessions, the things that you have bought, purchased, acquired to make you feel important, won't fit. So where will your importance lie then? All of that, let's put all of that in there, and then let's wake her up at 7 a.m. and say record a podcast. Oh my God, my brain. So now I think about all this stuff regularly, right? Like I think about a few things. I think about the UNC Jordan 1 high tops. I want those. I think about how I need a bread toter, let the niggas know that I'm really in the shoe game. I think about Whitney Houston because today is actually her birthday. She would have been 57 years old, and we will talk about that some other time. I think about, am I really happy? Am I making my partner happy? And when am I going to get to be the name that people need to know? That's all I think about. Those are my top thoughts. And now you add in, you're wasting your time at a job. As healthy and as fruitful as it's been for you, it is pretty much a dead end because you don't want to promote up. But you also don't want to stay so stagnant in one position where any other company or organization looks at you and say, hey, bitch, you were there for 7 years. You did nothing special. Why should we hire you so you can sit here for 7 years? And then the whole shoulda, which is this podcast is titled, I Shoulda Listened to Kanye, College Dropout. My shouldas are telling me so many other things. You should have done this. You should have done that. You should be here. So seeing that man put that diaper on just unearthed all that neurotic language that I just shared with you. It's just so heavy, right? And when I see homeless people, I never give from a place of I'm above you. I give from a place of I could be sitting right next to you. And I pray that someone will see me, someone will look in my eyes, someone will understand that I am down and out and give me $2. And I don't think $2 was exorbitant. I don't think $2 changed his life. But I do know that if I did nothing else for him in that moment, I was able to get him a coffee. I was able to get him, I could have gotten him some meth. I don't know what I got him. But in that moment, I was just not a bystander. And later on that night, I took another walk with my fiance. We're not really engaged, but she'll like the way that sounds. I took another walk with my partner and my puppies, and I saw that same man sleeping in front of a statue in my neighborhood, but this time he had sweatpants. So I'm going to likely think that maybe that $2 coupled with some other kind person's $3 coupled with someone's $5 got him a pair of pants. So I want to save everybody. I literally told my girlfriend, I want to save all these people. I want to do so much more for them. But what I'm really saying is I want to make sure I am doing that for me. And I'm hoping that I put out that good karma every time I give $1, $2, $3, that it somehow filters back to me because I'm so insecure about what my next step will be. Oh man. And another way in which Kanye plays into this episode is the ironic thing about Kanye and anybody that I engage with who does not have the 2 degrees that I feel so still not good about because I'm not sure that they equate to my brownstone in Fort Greene or my ability to have chai on demand, is that I get to speak once again from such a place of privilege because I have the degrees. They're mine. My name's on them. They're in frames now. They're up on my wall now, which it took me so many years to do that, and I'm sure I can talk about that too. I have the degrees. And then I look at someone like Kanye West, where it was very clear in his first 2 albums, his insecurity for not going to school or not finishing school or not pledging Kappa Alpha Psi. He has become problematic, unwell, odd as fuck, but he has become everything I'm chasing. Kanye West, Mr. West, even at the height of his All Things Wrong, has created a shoe line that has made him a billionaire. I wear Yeezys more than I wear socks, okay? Kanye West has created some of the best songs, the best collaborations, the best fashion, like produced some of the biggest songs for some of the greatest people. He has given us so much culture, so much of himself. And while I think he's misguided and unwell and on Whitney Houston's birthday, I will not say I will be surprised if he does not make it. But he got to see and live a life that people with like me with 2 degrees, people like my friends who are just now finishing PhDs, which insecurely makes me want to go get one because got to keep up with the Joneses. He has lived a life that so many of us with these college degrees will never see. And as I sit here, a recent college dropout from my second master's program in mental health and wellness, full circle, I dropped out because it wasn't beneficial to my mental health or my wellness. And it was me trying to get another degree, just like he does. He has a skit. He talks about it. Those degrees won't hold you at night. You can't wrap up in those degrees. I have my degrees. He makes fun of my reality. Oh, Kanye has been a genius. He's been a fucking genius. Those degrees, everybody out there chasing them. Now, I won't say they're useless because those degrees get me. They got me here. Those degrees showed me it's like butterfly in the sky, like reading Rainbow. That's how I feel about my degrees. All my degrees showed me was that there was more to get. But that's if you choose to do it a very specific way, right? Like I could easily apply to get a PhD in, I work in student affairs. I could easily get a PhD in student affairs somewhere. If I really put my energy and my time into it, I could get a PhD in psychology and really become a trap therapist like I would like to be. I would love to do trap therapy or cannabis therapy. I cannot wait to see how that's going to play out for me. But my passions and my talents and my voice, I don't have the time to give anybody 4, 5, 6 years to learn about what I can just freely talk about. So, but freely talking about it isn't free. You know what I mean? Like here I am thinking I should already be doing a live with Lena Waithe when I've only recorded 8 episodes of a podcast. There are people who have 454 episodes and still no sponsorship. The checks and balances of creativity, the delayed payoff or my perceived delayed payoff, because one person could listen to this and say, hey, bitch, you're in. But just having to not know how you're going to get where you're going to go and having to trust it and have faith in it. Also at a time where you're doing work that literally drains your spirit in order to keep you comfortable. A decision has to be made. And because I live in New York City where you can literally see somebody in a Maserati drive past somebody putting on a diaper on themselves at 11 a.m. in the morning during the height of most people's day. New York City is the great equalizer. And I tell my partner, I feel like I'm in one step in each direction. I'm 1 foot back into poverty. I'm 1 foot back into the promised land. And having to trust the universe, the process, God, whatever you want to call it, having to trust that so strongly and make a decision is just not something that I've ever been well versed in, because I've always done what I shoulda done. I should have went to college. I should have went back to college. I should have got a job here. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And you know what, the one shoulda that I regret, because I did all those shouldas. Shoulda went to college. Sure did do it. Shoulda went again. Also did that. Should have applied at NYU just so you can see if you can get in, to see if you are the cream of the crop. Bitch, I got in and I got out so fucking fast. See, there's a quote that I learned in my mental health and wellness program, and I'm going to fuck it up, and I'll put it in my liner notes because I'm going to fuck it up. It's like, how do I know what I think until I see what I say? Now, how do I know what I think until I see what I say? And that's something that I learned in a vocational counseling class, which I thought was complete bullshit because it was based on white men who say, if you take this aptitude test, this is the work that you should be doing, and you should ignore your circumstances. Like, you shouldn't be thinking about where you are. You should be thinking about where you're going. And it pissed me off as a Black queer woman, because if I would have taken that test back then and it told me to be a doctor, but it's telling me to ignore the fact that I come from a single family home where mental health and wellness is not okay, where scholarships are not an option, where there is no... Bitch, how does one become a doctor when you live in the ghetto and you're broke? Yes, do people do it? But how dare you tell me to negate those realities and say, oh, because you scored this way, you should do this. And fuck the fact that society and everything and every obstacle is literally right in front of you. Believe it or not, that was the class that made me decide to leave the program, which I just did that like maybe 3 weeks ago. And now I'm off because of tangent and I don't outline. But mental health and wellness, I said that, don't know where I was going with that. But I want to say that again, like, I didn't know what I didn't know. So yes, I have the degrees. Back to those of you who are pursuing them, that's where I'm going to go. Yes, I have the degrees. Yes, I can speak from a place of having the degrees and saying maybe degrees are not the end all be all promised land. And maybe we should stop feeding children this, you need to go to school, you should, because shoulds put so much should not pressure on us. I should not be unhappy. I should not leave this program because it's an honor to get in. I should not be unhappy because I get free rent and free this and free that. I should be grateful. The shoulds create more shoulds, and then the shoulds also take away your ability to discern what you should and should not agree with. Shoulds have prisoned me. And I was going to say, the one should that I regret the most comes from, picture it, Bowling Green State University, September 2005, we'll say. And I sat down with my academic advisor to pick and declare my major and my minor, right? So you guys remember in the last episode, I told you that I picked telecommunications because I wanted to be a music producer / Wendy Williams. So I had a vision. I had a vision for myself to be in the media world from the beginning of beginnings in my life. Everything told me that this is the place I belong in. I belong somewhere. TRL, 106 in Park, Wendy Williams show. I belong on, when I tell you, if they ever revamped I Love the 90s or any of those VH1 shows for commentary, that was my dream. Because I can talk you in circles about any and every pop culture thing, black, white, or other. That was my dream. So 18-year-old Chloe walks into this office with her dream in her hand. Hear ye, hear ye. Chloe has a dream. Hear ye, hear ye. Tell me what to do and how to get there, but this is the dream. So I sat down in front of, her name was Hyunsu Park, I want to say. I know her last name was Park. Hyunsu might have been my friend, and I think they might have been related, and I don't want to be, black people can't be racist, but I don't want to be prejudiced. I know her last name was Park. Let's start there. My academic advisor was a Korean woman who looked like she belonged on C-SPAN. She would wear the tweed 3-piece suits. She had the Connie Chung hair. She had the nude Kiton heel. She looked like she should be a news anchor for, I'm not going to be racist. She looks like she should have been Connie Chung. Looks like that was her dream. So I sit in front of her, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I say, I already know what I want. I just want you to make sure it's on paper, and I want this to be true. And I said, I would like to major in telecommunications, and I would like to minor in ethnic studies. Just kidding. I did not say ethnic studies. See, that's how the narrative changes. I wanted to major in telecommunications, TCOM, and I wanted to minor in popular culture, which at Bowling Green State University has one of the world's largest pop culture libraries and one of the most premier popular culture programs. At the time, I think we were the only one, which is probably what helps her make her decision moving forward. I didn't know how to major in pop culture, but I was like, at the very core, communications, I can communicate. Pop culture, I can learn enough to talk about pop culture. You learn how to communicate, and then you learn the topics that you want to talk about. It was a match made in Bowling Green history heaven for Chloe Beck. So before I could even finish my vision and telling her why I wanted to do that, she said, you cannot major in popular culture. She said, pop culture will get you no job. You need some stability. You cannot major in popular culture. Now, 18-year-old Chloe, who had a phenomenal relationship with her academic advisors in high school, the people who made sure she got to college, the people who made sure she didn't have to pay application fees, the people who really, really listened and invested in her, were people who she assumed that this lady was. Because God has continued to bless me with people to look out for me and try to navigate waters that my mom can't help me navigate. I don't have a dad. My grandmother did not go to college, so she's just beyond over the moon that I graduated from high school. So at the time when you don't know more, you kind of lean on other people. And I said it today to my partner, which is what made me push record so quickly, is that woman's limited vision for herself eclipsed my big dream for mine. And I'm going to unpack that now, because when I told you she looks like she should have been Connie Chung or working at C-SPAN, she also had a very thick Korean accent. And because I had a lot of Korean friends, and even in my current job, I had a Korean student who was amazing in telecommunications and had a dream to be a reporter, I can say that I've experienced or heard from them that if they don't sound American enough, or if they cannot remove their accents, then they are no good for that work, that line of work. So I truly believe that my advisor, who had a communications degree, who, like, we talked at length about it, I truly believe that someone shat on her dream, and it created an insecurity in her and a fear in her for her ability to maintain her apartment, her home, her paycheck, that she, while trying to help me, a fat black girl who could not afford to go on the internship at E. Yeah, we talked about that. Ain't that shit all full circle? She saw that, I would like to say, she's like, I have way more tools than you do, and I can't make it. So why would I allow you to fail? And she talked me into ethnic studies as my minor. And while I do not regret it, because bitch, now I can talk about black shit. Okay. I do not regret my ethnic studies minor. Full circle, today when I was with my partner, I talked about pursuing a PhD in popular culture. If 18-year-old Chloe would have minored in pop culture, would 33-year-old Chloe have to decide if she should call it quits in her professional life and go back to school to now embark on a PhD program that will be full-time, that will not be in Manhattan or New York City or anywhere that I've gotten comfortable? I might have to literally go back to Bowling Green State University, and while it will be a phenomenal victory lap, bitch, I don't know how often I can get a chai there. Or when I went there, it was the Source Awards. Now it's definitely CMT. So, and for those of you who listen from, also listeners across the country, across the world, I have listeners from Britain, London. Thank you. Listeners in Australia, I have listeners all over. Thank you. Thank you for giving a fuck about what this random black bitch has to say in this random city, in this random room. Thank you. I hope to meet you. And I hope you all will email me and tell me more about yourself. You can email me at insequeerthepodcast@gmail.com. Tell me why you're listening and how the hell did you find me? But anyway, thank you guys. Like, when I saw that, I was perplexed because I thought all these people who were listening were the 7 friends that I showed. But no, you all are showing up and I appreciate you. But now I have to decide, do I continue to chase the dollar or do I chase the dream knowing that it will get me the top dollar? and I have to get uncomfortable. A lot of this is uncomfortable. My insecurities lies in comfort. I am a person who needs comfort. I don't need a lot of things, but I need things in a very particular way, which I will definitely talk about. I am someone who's gotten accustomed to the perks. Ooh, I popped that P hard. Something I learned in telecommunications 103. I'm someone who has a life that I am now accustomed to, and like me choosing any of these dreams would have to really assess if I'm prepared to struggle before I succeed. And once again, it ties me back to the man with the diaper. It ties me to the homeless people or the people who are removed from hospitals. It ties me to the reality of health insurance and health care. And because I'm someone who's had weight loss surgery, I still need skin removal surgery. And I have herniated discs and bad knees and backs and a FSA. I have a HSA. Like I have stuff that keeps me afloat, like my tune-ups. And depending on what decision I make, I will have to get very comfortable with the discomfort of my choice. So do you stay comfortably in crisis or uncomfortably free? I don't know the answer. And like I said, I think it's ironic that Kanye was so hard on himself for not doing it this way. And someone who's did it this way is now trying to do it the Kanye way, minus the crazy, but already am crazy. So the Kanye workout plan. I'm on the Kanye plan now. And for those of you who, I keep saying it and not saying it, for those of you who are in that journey, whether you're 33 or 13, hear people out. Hear them out, but do it with a grain of salt. 18-year-old Chloe could have never articulated to that Miss Park my dream in a way to say, I'm going to ignore your sound advice, because I just knew her advice was sound, but I think her advice was steeped in insecurity. And I think about that now in terms of me being people's mentors and me being in a place to motivate and help people on their journey to college. And I have to make sure that I am not injecting them with all of my shit when I do it, right? I know for a fact I've communicated with people about how to maneuver my job, how to maneuver this, how to maneuver that. But I did it from an angry, bitter place of like, it happened to me this way, so it's going to happen to you this way, or it should happen to you this way, or why didn't it happen to you this way? Or my fear will stop me from letting you make a choice that you should make. Because now I have to decide at 33, what's next? Do I ignore my passion for wanting a PhD because other people have it right now it's other people have it, and like I would like to be a doctor, but like I told my sorority sister on a phone call, as much as I want a doctor, like I could do something so amazing in this world that every university will gladly give me an honorary doctorate, right? Nigga, Dr. J, Dr. Dre. How many doctors do we know in the media world who ain't seen nobody's PH nothing or nobody's MD nothing? Bitch, I could put doctor in front of my name now, and who gon' check me, boo? But then I really do love popular culture, guys. I used to want to be a pop culture like commentator, but now I think I'm more of a pop culture historian, because I care more about preserving the past in culture than, I don't necessarily know how much I care to talk about Pop Smoke, or I still don't know who Tekashi 6ix9ine. Like I think that's a serial Goleen. Like I don't really know how to engage a lot with the new media or like the new stuff, give or take a few things, because bitch, WAP hits. Number one song in the country, WAP. Hey, okay, but I want to make sure that everyone knows who Aretha Franklin was, or that I don't ever want there to be a time in life where no one knows that The Voice is synonymous with Whitney Elizabeth Houston, right? Like I want to be able to talk to you all about Moms Mabley and Maya Angelou, right? I want to make sure that you guys know who the greats were. I want to make sure that we never get, it's like I think about media the way I think about an iPhone. Eventually you run out of storage, right? There's just too much. And usually you go and do what? You delete the shit that's at the end. You delete the earliest shit. I don't want anyone in the world to ever delete the earliness of life. I want people to always know what the fucking Star Spangled Banner sounded like the day that Whitney Houston sang it. I want people to know about The Wiz. I want people to know the story behind The Color Purple. And I want people to be able to dissect how Whoopi Goldberg did not win for that role in The Color Purple, but they gave her that victory win for Ghost. But also talk about how Ghost was a phenomenal movie and she deserved both. Because in black communities, up until Chloe Beck, we thought it was either or. But I want to make sure we know the both and. Or the fact that WAP sampled Hoes in This House. And how many of you all had to go look up that song before you can understand the greatness of them using that song? So yeah, bitch, I'm going to probably get a PhD in pop culture and I'm going to make it work and I'm going to be a professor daddy like my partner calls me. But I'm terrified as fuck to figure out how I'm going to get there. New York City is something that I love, but it puts your social economic status and your earning potential in front of you every day. It says, hey, you could either be the name on the marquee or you could be sleeping underneath it. And my insecurity is that I don't know if I'm so secure in believing in myself. Ooh, bitch. But when I tell you, we gonna figure it out together. Because college was great. College gave me some of the best things. But if I knew more about me, maybe I'd be done with college finally, right? I will never negate it. I will never change it. Like when I tell people my time at Bowling Green State University, I would go back and do it exactly the same way, except I wish I knew I was queer sooner to see what college puss was like. I joke about which organization I might have joined instead of AKA, but who are we kidding? I'm a as big, black, and burly as I am a prissy bitch underneath it all. So AKA was going to always be for me. But college was so good. Like I love college, which is why I still work at a college, which is why I always think when there's something wrong to go back to college, because college has been my safety net. Like that's where I will disagree with Kanye. No, you can't wrap yourself up in those degrees, but you can wrap yourself up in the college experience. College was just 10 stars, highly recommend. It is still the ghetto. You will be ashy and potentially broke, might catch an STI, but worth it. But only if you want it. Don't listen to me, because some people who went to the same college, my niece, for example, went to my alma mater and dropped out her freshman year because it wasn't the glitz, the glam, the glitter. And that's a huge part of following your own path. The reason why following other people's paths becomes harder for you and makes things not like, damn, they did this and 1 + 1 was 2 for them, but why is 1 + 1 8 for me? Because your eyes are not on your paper. You can't follow Chloe Beck's journey, right? You cannot do it my way, because my way was for me, right? So if you go to school, if you don't go to school, if you go back to school, if you get in and you drop out, just make sure you're okay with that decision. Not, oh my God, what is my mom going to think? Oh my God, what is social media going to think? Oh my God. Like, honestly, life is too short to give a fuck about any of that. And as someone who loves college, can't wait to go to college, can't wait to trick out my kids' rooms when they go to college, if they go to college, because I also think I'll be at a place where there'll be Willow and Jaden and not need college. But I hope that they want it for themselves, because even if the degree is bullshit, just the experience of going, worth it for some. I hope you guys do the thing that you want to do for you. And even if you're like me, because I think a lot of my listeners are in that same place of, I've done this whole shoulda, coulda, woulda. I've done it this way, but I'm not happy. Or, this way is okay, but I also really loved makeup, or I really loved fashion, or I really loved home decor. Like, find a way to do it all. Find a way, because you're going to always regret. You're going to always have this woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if. But luckily for y'all just get to listen to me figure out mine. So I'm going to leave here soon, because I think I said all I needed to say. Bitch, I got to decide. I got to make a decision, because I don't want to leave this earth with any regrets. And like, if I died today, I would have a lot of them. Should have listened to Kanye. So I always like to wrap it up because, I don't want it to be heavy. Well, I don't think this was heavy. I think this was more manic. Excuse me. What's a shoulda that you shouldn't have listened to? What's one of your biggest shouldas where you're like, ooh, they told me I should have did this, but I really should have did that? Or what is your relationship with shoulda? And like, how does shoulda play into your daily engagements, your daily thoughts, your daily, hell, your jobs? How many of you are in a career because of what you shoulda did? Excuse me, I've had a beer and I can't wait to get to episode 10 so I can pub this because it's already doing so well. But I'm so proud that I am holding true to the organic, just do the thing first, right? Just let it be what it's going to be. And one shoulda is you should always listen to your damn self because nobody knows what's best for you like you. All right. I said it in the beginning. I'll say it in the end. Hopefully one day I'll end with another tagline. But once again, please, I'm so interested in those of you who are listening. If you can go on iTunes and rate this podcast, please write a little blurb about what you like things you want to hear, things you want to see. Also, please email me at InseQueer. That's Insequeer, the podcast, all one word, all lowercase, at gmail.com. Tell me how you found me. Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me about some of your shouldas. Give me permission to read some of your shouldas. Communicate. I would love to talk to you guys before I get so heavy into social media and trying to pub it and be seen and placed. But guys, I have really enjoyed this episode. I have really enjoyed this process, even though my anxiety just takes me to a whole nother level every time I push record. But at the end of the day, Kanye for president, right? Oh wait, no, we should not do that. Do not waste your vote. Get out and vote. Hey, it's two white devils, but what the fuck? Trump is on. I'm not going to end my podcast on that, but get out and vote. Vote. Wear your masks, wash your hands, love yourself, love each other, and tell me about what you should or should not be doing right now. All right, until the next time, I'm out. Hey.